We're here at the Phoenix Fire Training Academy. We're here to talk about all things about how hot cars can kill. Don't leave your dogs, your children, or your grandma in a car, and we'll show you why. Deborah, we are so excited. Thank you, because you are the reason why we are here today. So I personally want to thank you for that. And I do want to ask you, how did you get started? Did something happen to you, a particular pet of yours that wanted you to jump on board?
Well, I started this as actually a civics project for my students. And I was racking my brain to kind of figure out what I could do to them this semester that would civically engage them, put them in the community. So I thought, we'll create a public service announcement to not leave your dogs in a hot car, because a few months earlier I had seen a dog in a hot car, and the owner was from New York, and he didn't think it was hot out, and he didn't get it. So I decided, well, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on for people. Like, you don't leave grandma, you don't leave your child in the car. But there's nothing that really focuses on animals by themselves.
And that's typically what people bring a lot. They want to be close to their animals in the car, and I get that. But it is very, very unsafe, obviously, especially in these summer months. Mm-hmm. So I love the beauty of what you said about involving your students, because that's the future. That's the education and the key and the knowledge as they become adults. So how are they receptive to this program?
Well, you know, it was our first semester. I had no idea what to expect. I allowed my students to volunteer, which maybe I won't do next time. Maybe I'll make it mandatory for the whole class to do it for the semester. So 6 got on board with me. And 4 days after we launched, we went to PAC 911's event, and we learned the ins and outs of going to a rescue event with our information. And then we went to Pet Expo, and we really saw the animal advocacy at the top of the game.
Right.
So they really got involved. We actually met Sheriff Joe, and he's an endorser. He's endorsing our foundation. We're 2 months old Monday, so it's pretty new to us, but we did have a social media director volunteer and gave us our website and our Facebook page gratis, which was kind of cool. And
you're an amazing woman, because with just 2 months and you've come this far, I'm going to call you and get some little info tips. How's that?
I don't know. It's like so crazy. But my students are really embracing it, because one of the things that we have to remember, as community college students are older, we still have that 18 to 24-year-old cohort, and most of them don't have kids. So I figured if we talk about the advocacy or the importance of not leaving your dog in the car, most kids could relate to that because they have a family pet. And they really jumped on it. I mean, 3 weeks in, we had a dry dog food drive to raise dog food for a food bank.
Well, you know what the good news is? Yeah. The Global Rescuers has a ton of dog food we'd like to donate to your organization, right, Corey?
Well, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so you contact me, and we will bring that to you for contribution.
Thank you. I think the interesting thing, like you asked about, how are my students really embracing this? And I think that they're really embracing it because now they have a broader view of what does it mean to be in a community. Like, I am the greater good. I'm going to serve it someday as a doctor or a nurse, because those are my students, but I am the greater good.
We watched a demonstration about locking animals or humans in a car. What are you to do if you see one locked in? Also, we heard the police take on the consequences if you do break a window to rescue an animal or human from a locked vehicle.
I'm going to give you a police perspective on your question. because we did have an incident not here in Arizona, it was somewhere else where a citizen saw a pet in a hot car. What they thought was a hot car. The pet looked like it was in distress, and they broke the window and in an effort to rescue the dog, and the police showed up, and that person ended up getting arrested for breaking the window. I'm going to go out on a limb here. If our citizens are out there and they see a child or a pet, this is Arizona, in a hot car, and that child or that pet looks like they're in distress, the pet is panting, the pet is lethargic, the child might even appear to be flushed and asleep. If you break that window, we'll deal with it. Okay, just give us the child back, give us the pet back, and we'll deal with breaking the window, but I'm certainly not going to take you to jail.
When a child or pet is in a hot car, they can't get out of that environment, and the temperature just goes up and up and up. It's like an oven that's baking them. And the temperatures quickly in our city, in our valley, can be up to 140 degrees within 15-20 minutes. So that temperature is incompatible with life, and it starts to affect them. For little kids, they start sweating, their heart rate goes up, their respirations go up. Once they run out of sweat, which happens rapidly, and they're dehydrated, they start going into shock, and it affects all of their organ systems, damages their brain. They can have seizures, they can be in a coma, and that high temperature, their body temperature, core temperature may be around 106, 107, 108. That damages cells, and it just damages all of their organs. They get into kidney failure, liver failure, their heart stops pumping properly, and they go into cardiogenic shock, and they often do not survive this event. And it's something that the prevention is the key for me, because parents have a responsibility, and I try to emphasize if a parent puts a child in a car seat, then if they stop to get out of that car, they need to get that child out of that car seat. And the same thing applies to pets. And pets have an even harder time getting rid of heat. I mean, the dogs will pant and stuff, but they don't sweat. They've got fur on, and they just they get very ill very fast.
Greta, thank you so much for your time here today. This message is hugely important and needs to get out there. What is your view on it coming from the Humane Society aspect?
Yeah, well, the Arizona Humane Society's emergency animal medical technicians, or pet paramedics, are out 365 days a year responding to ambulance calls as well as suspected cases of animal cruelty. This time of year, as you can imagine, a lot of those cases are heat related or animals left in vehicles. So we see it every year. Sometimes we are on scene too late to assist that animal, which is completely devastating. But it is so important. Just as you wouldn't leave a child in a hot car, you cannot leave your pet in a hot car. So in Arizona, with these triple-digit temperatures in the summertime, I would caution people, leave your pet at home. I know they may have vet visits or things like that, but prepare them with a little booty so they don't burn their paws on the pavement. Again, leave them at home though this time of year.
Absolutely, because I never understood the mentality of I have to take my dog with me, because that dog will be with you for that car ride, and that is it. You won't see it after that. So
Exactly.
They really do need to do that. And also too, thank you for your message, but this little guy right here,
Moose is a 4-year-old flat-coated retriever, came into the Arizona Humane Society. He's currently up for adoption. His adoption fee is just $50 and includes his neuter surgery, his first vaccines, a free follow-up vet exam. I know, we call that frog butt. But he came today just to get out of the shelter. He is a little selective with other dogs, so he does need to be the only pet in the home, which makes it take a little bit longer, and we'd love to see him find that perfect home. And he actually rides perfect in the car, but again, not during the summer months.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
do you have anything you want to say before closing?
Again, just take the Arizona heat into account. Keep your pets hydrated. Make sure they have shelter and ventilation and shade. Baby pools are a great way to cool them down, and just cut back on the exercise. And of course, never chain them or leave them in vehicles. So those easy tips, your pet is going to have just a fine summer. Again, heat exhaustion are those signs of, the rapid panting, the glazed over eyes, whining, agitation, which leads to heat stroke, where their bodies start to shut down in sheer panic.
Dogs that are chained, I'm seeing it a lot in Maricopa. What do you have to say about that? Why can't they be chained?
Yeah, you know, when you chain your pet, they undoubtedly get tangled around something to the point where they can't access shade or their water, or they tip their water over. Our EMTs use a really great trick. They're these big 5-gallon plastic buckets with a handle that's removable, and you can put it through the fence so it can't spill over. Again, I'm a firm believer our pet should live indoors, on the couch and on the bed, but we don't see that all the time. So there really is no need to be chaining your pet up. You maybe should think about having a pet if that's how you're keeping them.
Great, thank you so much. This is Kimberly reminding you, it only takes one to do something great. Are you the one? The Global Rescuers isn't just a show, it's a movement. We'll see you next time.